What's happening? It's Larry Loudpack bringing you the latest in cannabis news and culture. In here with my man Malik, the manager.
Green tea smoothie, 2 espressos, caramel cup. Holla at me.
And this is Fuego News. Let's get it. South by Southwest has announced 7 cannabis panels and 11 psychedelic panels in their 2023 conference that will feature sessions about marketing your cannabis brand, social equity within the cannabis industry, future psychedelic medicine practices, and a lot more. The conference and festival were started in '87 as a way to showcase art and creative thinking in Austin, and they've been officially hosting high-level conversations in the cannabis space since 2014. I think that's pretty dope, man.
They got Al Harrington up in there talking about culture, legacy.
Big Al?
Big Al.
Let's go. You gonna be talking about Viola at all? Or
Yeah, culture and legacy, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Al Harrington being within the NBA culture and just the impact that he's had, really trying to blend the cannabis with sports overall, and just for medicinal purposes too. You know what I'm saying? His story, his grandma had eye issues. She smoked one time, came back downstairs from her smoking, and apparently she was crying reading the Bible.
He named Viola after his grandma?
After her.
And did she have like glaucoma or what?
Something like that. She wasn't able to read. Like, that's how bad her eyes were. You know what I'm saying? And weed helped. But people don't want to hear that story, though.
Well, shout out Al Harrington. I think that's super dope. And then I heard that Ricky Williams was going to be in the mix.
Yeah,
it seems
yeah.
like the people who are bringing the speakers on actually are tapped into the culture and
Exactly.
know what they're doing as far as selecting people right now. They've been doing creative thinking conferences since '87, but the majority of people our age only know of the
Concerts and shit.
the music festival and all that stuff going on. But
They're actually making moves within the culture that we need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're in an era of information, so it's really about getting the proper information from the right sources. And going to these panels allows you to get that information that you need to understand what you're really working with when it comes to this cannabis culture.
Exactly.
Like they're saying, Ricky is going to address the shortcomings of equity within the marijuana marketplace and the importance of viewing equity and profits as complementary goals rather than mutually exclusive objectives.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Shout out to them. I'm definitely trying to pop out. Next story.
Yes, sir.
The Rhode Island House Speaker was tied to a Mafia grow operation associated with the New England crime family. John Conti, the House Speaker's senior chief of staff, was caught on camera meeting with the Mafia associate on state property, which caused the local police intelligence unit to take interest. After a month-long investigation, police compiled footage of Conti attending events with New England mob members, evidence of loyalty payments being made to the alleged underboss, and thousands of text messages with members that detailed an illegal grow facility they were partnered in. The text also showed the government official releasing classified information about ongoing decisions being made with future cannabis regulations. Conti resigned from his House Speaker position last Thursday, but despite all the evidence, he still denies the allegations. Hey, he denying that shit.
John looked like he belonged in The Sopranos, bro. Oh my God.
If that guy doesn't look like a Mafia associate, I don't know who does.
Hey.
That even his name, John Conti,
Hey.
that's the most Mafia name I've ever heard.
Them shades is hard, though, too.
Them shades is hard just on him, bro. I think he's just hard.
Pause.
Pause. But I think, bro, look at that man. Came out with the clean, crispy suit on.
It's the sweatsuit with the nice, you know what I'm saying, shades look.
He eats in the back of the restaurant.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he comes in the back and eats in the kitchen type shit. On some real Mafia shit.
Oh, God.
But he was involved with a business called Organic Bees, which is a grow facility. And they apparently applied for licensing months back. But he didn't disclose that he was part of this business because he's not allowed to be a part of this business because the House of Representatives has so much say in the actual weed laws going on right now.
They gave him the paperwork without Conti and Jenkins in the paperwork.
Oh, yeah. And Jenkins, his nickname is Scarface. And that's the dude who he met on the state property. So this dude's out here going to Mafia parties and he's walking around looking like that.
All I'm going to say is I don't think he did it.
Hey. I think I think they're all innocent.
All innocent.
They didn't have nothing to do with this. They deny any involvement. You know what I'm saying? And I believe them. Shout out the New England Mafia crime.
Shout out to the New England mob family.
Allegedly. Hey, we gonna move on. Allegedly. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Congress is very close to passing the Safe Banking Act that will federally allow cannabis businesses to access banking services and includes expungement of past marijuana convictions. Schumer made the statement during a Senate re-election debate against candidate Joe Pinion, which Schumer went into highly favored. The bill has passed through Senate 7 times now without success, and lawmakers in support of the Reform Act are hoping to have a revised version with more modest reforms pushed through both chambers and on Biden's desk by the end of Congress term. The debate was interesting.
Shout out to Schumer. I like how he's added it to expunge some records as well. You know what I'm saying? Like not just focusing on passing the Banking Act, but also helping the people that can benefit, and goes hand in hand. Right,
it's
so
huge.
He's making it make sense. Shout out Schumer.
The first couple times it passed through, it was just called the Safe Banking Act. And now it's called the Safe Plus Banking Act. So the plus is the expungement and the reform of the criminality and whatnot. But yeah, no, that's good on them for sure. Shout out Joe Pinion's egghead ass.
Drop that clip for him one time.
We got to show y'all a little clip here.
Mr. Pinion, based on your years working at a health center in the South Bronx, I wonder if you believe marijuana should be removed from the Controlled Substances Act.
Look, I think we need to deal with the fact that we're not talking about your mom and dad's dope. We're talking about THC levels that have been off the charts. I think you bring up a good point. The notion that we would release it on the citizenry at the federal level before we've actually done the due diligence seems reckless and irresponsible. Just my thoughts. So, yes, I think that there has to be something done. I think particularly in light of the fentanyl crisis that Chuck Schumer invited here, we now have people that are trying to smoke marijuana and are going to drop dead.
Where's this happening at?
What story was he trying to paint?
He's reaching.
Like, that's never been a thing.
They're sprinkling F in the weed now. They're hitting it with a little salt bay.
A little salt? No.
Niggas hit him with
That's out. That's never happened before. Joe Pinion.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about with this shit. He's an Uncle Tom.
Dude is on the agenda.
He's
basically
a mark. You know what? Let me pull up his website. You know what? Hold up. Let me find out they photoshopped his head on that suit. Let me find out.
If y'all can see this head right now.
A Nevada judge ruled that the Board of Pharmacy's classification of cannabis as a Schedule I substance is unconstitutional based on medical and recreational use being legalized by the state, declaring the classification invalid. The American Civil Liberties Union of Nevada sued the state earlier this year, alleging that despite legalization, police have continued to make marijuana-related arrests due to the Board of Pharmacy's classification of the drug, creating a loophole in the law. The ACLU represented Antoinette Poole in the case, a Nevada resident who was found guilty of a Class E felony for cannabis possession in 2017. The board's attempt to have the lawsuit dismissed were rejected, as they should be.
Man, they've been contradicting themselves for years now. So shout out to Antoinette for standing on her own and not folding.
Shout out to ACLU. That case probably wouldn't be won without them.
Yeah, facts.
And it sounds like a black woman from the name.
Hey.
We don't even got it.
Yeah, we don't even got to go
We
into
don't even
got
got to do.
We know what it is.
This is good timing for Nevada, too, with these consumption lounges supposed to be opening up in 2023.
That part.
So now you don't have to be nervous. They still had that loophole where technically a cop could arrest you. When they make weed legalized in any place, you have to amend the state constitution. So they amended the state constitution to allow medical in the first place and then to allow recreational. Now they're looking into passing regulations for allowing consumption lounges, but they needed to fix this first because there was too many people who they could just decide they were going to make a target.
It's crazy how majority of these states are still contradicting themselves. Like, the structure isn't making sense. So how do you expect us to live in a place of peace? Times are changing.
Judge Joe Hardy, there we have it. Now we just need 49 more states to do it. I don't think any other states have done it.
I don't think so neither.
Next story. Joe Biden's pardon is projected to expunge about 6,500 Americans who have had a felony simple marijuana possession charge, but none of the people affected are currently incarcerated, so nobody is actually being released from jail due to this pardon. One major concern people have is that immigrants were not included in the wording of the pardon, so many people were still being deported for the same simple possession charge that were being expunged from other citizens' records. One positive outcome is that the United States Sentencing Commission has placed the treatment of prior marijuana convictions on their final priorities for the amendment cycle, meaning it will be addressed for revision in May of 2023.
the number of federal offenders, and it was ranged from 1992 to 2021. And they said that they were 41.3% white, 31.8% Hispanic, 23.6% were black, 3.3% were other.
Of the demographics within those people that were affected by the pardon.
78.5% male, 21.6% female.
What's interesting about it is that Biden mentioned in his pardon announcement that black people have been disproportionately affected by these laws. So a lot of people thought by him putting out that pardon that he's releasing all these people from jail and that all these black people and brown people were going to get their records expunged. And the reality is that the majority of the people affected were white people, and nobody was actually released from jail out of any of these people.
It's them playing with the vocab, right?
Yeah.
Like, they understand how to place words and certain shit to make people think they understand what they're saying when they really don't. Because pardon is literally meaning they are excusing you of your past convictions, right? So with that being said, people thinking that is just gonna assume they're most likely gonna be in jail, right? There's people outside of jail with convictions on their record still. So and then not only that, they went to 41.3% white. It's not making sense.
Like 6,500 people having their record cleared and can get a job now. It's a good start.